But yeah, no. Basically, we don't have a name for this right now. Honestly, I just say we roll with this for now.
Yeah, I could see this being titled Nameless. You know,
Wow,
Nameless #1.
that's really meta.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
what
just
meta
thought
means?
that. I've heard it in Clash Royale, but I just thought it was just.
I do not know the definition of meta at this point either.
So, weirdly enough, why did you bring that up if you didn't know what it meant?
I don't know.
Now
I
we
thought
just
it'd be fun.
sound stupid.
I thought it'd be fun to talk about, really. So, like, meta, like, you always see it on like subreddits and
Right,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
in Clash Royale, it was like, this deck is meta. And
Right.
like,
I mean, it's the
there's
thing that you want to do right now.
It's like recent. This is the thing right
The thing
now.
that's like overpowered is what I
Right.
would say. Like, I don't know if you used to play Destiny or anything
No.
like that. Okay, because there was always a meta. It'd be like this one gun is super meta and OP, and if you use it, then you're just annoying.
Yeah. The new thing that everybody's doing, meta. Right. Yeah, I can see that.
But also, like, I've seen it used in a context where it's like, almost like introspection on something.
Yeah.
Like on subreddits. Do you have Reddit?
I do not.
Okay,
no.
so
I'm
like
just
we'll
born
say like
elsewhere.
there's like a meme on like a subreddit that's about the subreddit, not just like some random meme,
Right.
and that's considered meta. So I don't really know.
I think
what the
this is
deal
a
is.
quick, maybe 10-second Google search, but I just don't think we have the commitment right now. Unless
I would disagree.
Okay.
Meta definition. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Hold on. Okay, so meta, short for meta key, referring to itself or the conventions of its genre, self-referential. So, I mean,
Yikes.
is that necessarily used in the right way? In like your
I
example
feel like-
or mine, Clash Royale? I don't necessarily think so.
I don't think that anybody's using it right, and I think that quick Google search, I mean, did we
Clearly
find the
showed
right
that.
meta? Is it spelled correctly? Did we?
I mean, have you seen it? Meta spelled META. I would say that it would.
That sounds right, but I mean, right now we're not getting great results.
I would say, if anything, the more appropriate term for what people are doing, like in games and stuff, instead of saying meta, it would be more like power gaming.
Power gaming.
Looking at
What
the
does that
stats of something
Okay.
specifically so that you're like more effective at the game by using that. But also something I wanted to show you. I had talked to an anonymous source about what he likes to do in his free time with his friends, and he said, "Oh, I go on Urban Dictionary, and I just
Oh, of course.
I just type in like 3 letters, and we just see where it goes."
Those were the worst 3 letters you could have picked.
ASF were the letters I picked. Oh, here's a fun one. The name Ashley. Okay?
That's crazy. Wow.
Now, here's what I'm thinking we do.
Okay. We got a little.
You try and determine the definition of something that I have picked, and you try and tell me what it is.
Okay, so let me just read this back to you.
Maybe a name isn't the best for this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Especially, yeah. All right. Maybe pick different letters, because I kind of saw a couple of those words.
Yeah.
A couple of definitions.
Okay. Here we go.
In the process of looking words up here.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Here we go. Ready.
A weeaboo.
Weeaboo. Can you spell that, please?
WEEABOO.
And can you use it in a sentence?
If you love and respect Japanese culture and your own, you are not a weeaboo. Merely liking anime or wanting to learn Japanese does not make you a weeaboo. That's the sentence that's provided by Viridian Sky.
Okay, and what would be like noun, verb? What do we think? Adjective?
It looks like an adjective.
Okay.
Or a noun.
Okay. So if you like anime, you're not a weeaboo. Is that right?
If you love and respect Japanese culture and your own, you are not a weeaboo. You really don't know what a weeaboo is, huh?
Well, clearly I've never heard of it.
Wow, I'm actually kind of shocked.
Have you heard of weeaboo?
I mean, I don't think you're a weeb per se, but that would be the definition.
We'll have to put a pin in that and talk to it later. Weeaboo.
A person who retains an unhealthy obsession with Japanese and Japanese culture, typically ignoring or even shunning their own racial and cultural identity. Many weeaboos talk in butchered Japanese with the 8 or so words they know, i.e. kawaii, desu, and nichan. While weeaboos claim to love and support Japanese culture, counterintuitively they tend to stereotype Japanese culture by how it appears in their favorite anime, which can be safely assumed to be offensive to Japan.
I figured it was something along those lines, but I was trying to think of something funny to say, and I didn't know where I could cross a line where I couldn't, so I decided not to. I think I took the high road.
In a different direction. Then, would you say that is? Do you know what cultural appropriation is?
Do I know what cultural appropriation is? We're gonna have to go with pass.
That's a no, really?
No, I mean yes. I mean you have to be appropriate with cultures. I mean that's a given.
Right. I mean, okay. So cultural appropriation is like taking.
Webster defines cultural appropriation as
cultural appropriation. That's a great.
That's the segue
Google
here.
Search.
That's perfect. Perfect segue.
Okay, here we go.
What a wonder.
Cultural appropriation. The adoption of an element or other elements of one culture or identity by members of another culture or identity. This can be controversial when members of a dominant culture appropriate from disadvantaged minority cultures.
Very interesting. I watched a YouTube
For example, and it comes up with a couple pictures here.
Yeah, like a white dude wearing some, like a Mexican, like sombrero and, I guess one of those, like...
A poncho?
Yeah, poncho.
It also comes up with a white guy wearing, and it actually looks like a darker skinned guy wearing a Native American headdress. Would you say that weeaboo culture, after hearing the definition, would you say that it is in fact cultural appropriation?
I mean, it seems like cultural appropriation is more related to like kind of like physical things that they wear, and I know it's not strictly tied to that, but it seems like I would say kinda weeaboo is kind of cultural appropriation.
Well, I know you wouldn't know this obviously, but
clearly not
weeaboos
such a
weeaboos tend to wear like
oh, they do tend
shirts
to wear.
and the stuff that just have like their favorite anime on it, or like
I mean, it's a TV show, right?
Do you know what a waifu is?
No, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't watch anime, so there's
Well, I've only watched Naruto, so there's not really much there. But a waifu is like one of those like body-sized pillows.
Okay.
With a little girl on it, or not necessarily a little girl, but
weird,
like an anime drawing of like a girl.
Okay. Sure.
That's a waifu.
That's a waifu.
And that's like oh, this is like my girlfriend.
Oh.
She's this pillow. And you see like pictures of people online with like their waifu chilling at a table with their disappointed parents.
Right. Yeah. They've got table for 4 when really it's table for, really 2.5.
Jeez. Okay. I don't know. I mean, if anything, it just seems kind of ignorant from like what obviously Urban Dictionary had to tell us.
Right. I mean, what a random.
I'm not going to call these guys the most reputable source of information.
Very interesting that you looked it up, though. That wasn't was that a random search, or
I just typed in a couple letters and it came up.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seems kind of silly to me.
Yeah.
And I could kind of see like a couple of people. We live in a dorm, obviously. We're in college.
Yeah, that's where we're located currently.
One thing that we and many of our friends here have noticed is our floor, specifically our little corner of our hall, smells awful.
Oh, it is just terrible. It's like, I mean, you leave food laying out and it's starting to rot and mold, and you get this aroma. That's not a good one.
Essentially, it smells like what you would think maybe like 10 like super nerdy gamer guys would smell like
their chairs, probably.
Yeah. Were there chairs like made into like a scented candle and then sold at like really cheap prices, and people just bought it not knowing what it was and lit it up?
Right. Yeah, and I think you got that candle
Yeah.
and you place it all the way around
Right.
the hall.
And they're like, oh, it smells so bad in here still. I better get another one of these candles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Called Jared's butt sweat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's bad, and luckily our room smells great. Like we have.
No, we're doing fantastic for ourselves. We got a wax melter the other week.
Recently, we have an apple candle.
We can't tell anybody about it though because we're not allowed to have candles in here.
It's one of those, fake ones, of course. You know what I'm saying?
For legal reasons, it is not a real candle.
Yeah.
But also,
it makes a good smell.
It's a real candle. Yeah, we don't really we don't get many visitors around here because of the way that things smell. I would say.
Yeah, we were just getting dinner with some friends, and they were walking down the hall, and they were like, "Man, it smells terrible in here," and I could hear them coming. I was like, "Yeah, that's just kind of the hall smell."
Yeah, you don't really you don't expect it, you know.
It hits you like a brick wall. I mean, you walk up the stairway smells fine actually. It's the stairways, kind of it's better. It's a lot better. But you walk into the hallway and instantly you're hit with just oh god, oh jeez, what the heck is that?
The way that our building is designed, it's almost like 4 figure eights stacked on top of each other, and on each side of the loop is a different, sex. So like one side is the dudes, the other side is the girls. And probably I would argue by closing your eyes and walking to one random side of the building, just by smelling what it smells like, you can tell which side you're on.
It's crazy. You walk over, because the drinking fountain, or the place to fill up our water bottles.
The bubbler.
Not the bubbler, but it's in the like girls section. So we walk over there, and man, it's like perfumey smelling. And it smells great.
They got fun decorations.
Yeah, the doors look nice. You walk past another door and you're like, oh, that's a new smell. What is this apple, artisan apple we got here? And then the next one's like, what is this, pine, whatever? And then you're like, lavender this. Pine. I mean, yeah, exactly. And it's just amazing. Like, if us dudes over here all had the same kind of idea about what a good smell is, it would be a different place.
I think the real issue kind of strives from people not caring, and that's fair enough right now. I'm sure a lot of people up here are dealing with like mental issues.
Oh yeah, being cooped up here is not fun.
No, but I feel like a good personal hygiene routine is an effective way to just.
I'm not even saying showering every day. It could be even every other day, but once a week maybe. I mean, that's probably what we're getting out here.
It's pretty rough.
I mean, me and Ethan, we both. I mean, it's every day. It's it's got to be, and that's why our room smells so good. But yikes, those other guys, I don't know. I can't speak for them.
Yeah, and there's a little. We actually haven't had too much drama on our floor either.
But we're a bunch of dudes, right? I mean, the drama comes, I would say, more with women.
95% of my knowledge of people on our floor is just their names,
and I don't even know half of that,
which is fine.
We don't really interact with them, so it's fine, and it's whatever.
We have one good friend. It's kind of hard out here in quarantine. You can't.
We're not in quarantine, but in quarantine times.
Fornication. You don't have the leeway that you normally would have. You have a heck of a time having guests in your room. I mean, we're right next to our RA, and that's
nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're not doing anything illegal, so
right. I mean, you just
candle.
Yeah, besides the candle that we have, we aren't doing anything super bad. I wouldn't say, at least.
Yeah. Besides
the prison wine that you want to make.
That is a great idea, but something that will never happen.
Where you just get some actual whatever.
It's about the process, not about whatever the drink does for you. The process of making something, but it's
about the journey, not
the journey.
Treasure
Yeah,
you find.
Jeez, destination. You're just set on that destination.
Yeah, I mean, the rule that we have here is you can have 2 people in a room at once,
always a loophole.
Yeah, I mean that's nice. Were I or Daniel to be gone, and like, let me have my girlfriend over or something.
Yeah.
But then there's the problem of, oh, you also can't have anybody that isn't from your hall.
And probably from your floor. I'm not even sure about that.
I don't know, but we haven't had too much problem or too much trouble with having one of our good friends in here pretty frequently.
Yeah, he just walks in whenever he wants.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing wrong with that either. I mean, it's
no, the first couple weeks were a little bit faster for us, I would say.
Yeah.
We're in week 7 of our school experience right now, and the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we were just playing poker all the time in the common area. First night we were playing in our room, and then we got kicked out because we were only allowed to have 2 people, and our RA forgot to tell us.
But our door was open, so it was kind of our fault because I mean, there's 4 of us, and we probably weren't real quiet, and the door was open. So I mean, that's mostly our fault. But anyways, continue.
And then we're playing poker and stuff, and in this common space, and out of nowhere, this girl walks around the corner, and she goes, "Hey, you guys can't be out here, sitting next to each other and stuff." And we are just we're kind of shocked, honestly.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there and we're like, oh, we thought she was gonna want to join.
Yeah,
or
because
like,
there was 2 of them. It must have been the RA from some other place and her friend or whatever.
Ask for our snap or something. Nope, she just wanted to let us know, and she must have seen us from like across the way. From
0 to 0 in maybe 2 seconds, 2 to 3. I mean, we thought we were like, oh man, it's 4 of us, or
it was 4 of us.
4 of us, it's. And then 2 other people come along. It's like, man, we're about to have a big poker sesh here.
Nope.
And then no, it ended poker, and that was the last time we played. So, which is like 4 weeks ago.
Yep. So we've been keeping busy with. We made a chronological list of all the Star Wars filmography or whatever it's called.
Yeah, movies, shows. I mean, we got it on the list.
It's about 87 hours of watching, and I would say like maybe like an eighth of the way done.
Yeah, probably.
With it.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing too. We've been teaching Daniel how to play D&D very lightly. I guess.
I'd say half of D&D is just the story so far, and I guess we both have to do a little bit of learning, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I don't know what else we've really been doing, honestly, besides just sitting on our desks and sleeping.
Yeah, well, we both have ukuleles, so that's pretty fun.
I guess. Every once in a while we'll get up and play our ukuleles and stuff. What would you say your morning, like, what's your, like basic day-to-day routine?
I've got 2 different, well, 2.5, kind of 3, but, so I have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for one of my classes at 8 to 10 in the morning. And so I wake up on those days at like around 7-ish, and then I take a quick shower, and then I eat an Uncrustable and drink some water back here, and then I get ready, and then I head to class. And so that's a pretty chill morning. It's the breakfast could be a little better than Uncrustable, but you got your proteins and you got everything you need, so that's fine. And then Tuesdays, I end up waking up around 8:15. My first class is at 9:40, and it's online, so I technically don't have to start it at the right time, but it just keeps a schedule. So I wake up 8:15-ish, probably get out of bed at 8:30-ish, maybe, then shower quick, and then annoy Ethan to come to breakfast with me so that he gets, moving. Otherwise, he'd sit in bed until, I don't know, about 10 when his first class is, so that's my morning routine. Friday, I only have a meeting on Friday at 8 o'clock, so I get up at like 7:40 and then crawl out of bed and then sit at the meeting. But, yeah, that's my morning routine. What about yours?
Like you said, usually I get up at like 9:30 or 10, I guess.
9:30. That's stretching it. You're usually always in bed when I come back from my first class.
My earliest class is at 10:10, and that's online, so I have to go about 4 feet. And even then, sometimes I won't touch the ground before I'm in my chair. I'll just jump on my desk, and I'll sit there for an hour, and then usually our friend Jake will come in and be like, "Hey, you want to eat?" And I'm like, "Well, I'd rather like shower or something, but yeah, we'll go eat." So we go eat, and then I come back, and then we screw around for a little bit, I guess, and then I go take a shower. Sometimes he's gone when I get back. Sometimes he's not. I don't know.
Crazy, the college life with classes and everything. Who knows where I'll be?
And then I basically just sit in my chair for the rest of the day, doing homework and watching TikToks, and that's pretty much it. I would say, nothing too exciting really. I mean, I get up every like hour-ish to play some ukulele or like go to the bathroom or something like that, but it's pretty underwhelming right now.
Yeah, this college business, I don't know about you, but personally I was told that it was going to be the hardest thing ever. And I'm not saying it's not the case yet, but so far it's been a little lacking. And I think Ethan would agree with me a little bit here.
Somewhat. I mean, it's kind of hard at this point not to do your work, because there's nothing else you can really do with your free time. You kind of just sit there and you're like, well, shit, I can't go talk to my friend. I can't go and like join like a game of spike ball or stuff like that. Basically, the only time we really leave is to go to class, to eat, or to leave, like campus. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you would think that having so much downtime, I guess, would be a good thing, but it's really, it just bores you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the one big benefit of that, though, is like, you get your stuff done. It's hard. It's like genuinely hard not to do our homework. I remember like the first week we were being like, God, I kind of just want to like have schoolwork,
Yeah, right. The first week, the first couple days, we had like we had our Woo leaders. So that was what
week 1 orientation leader, by the way.
So we just like was our first class Wednesday? That's what school. Okay, yeah. So on Monday and Tuesday, we just like walked around campus with our Woo leader. And
shout out to Jacob Yang, by the way.
Yeah, he's a real homie. So we would just walk around and look at different buildings and go inside and be like, all right, where's your class? And they'd walk you to the door that your class was. So I mean, we kind of knew where our stuff was, but it was just kind of, we didn't do much.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we did a little bit, I mean, we didn't do it necessarily, but the way that our lunch and like all of our meals right now works is you get these tokens and you turn in a token every time you go to get a meal, and then you get like one of these reusable like lunch box kind of things, and then you can either bring that back to your room and eat there and then bring back the lunchbox instead of a token next time, or you can turn in the lunchbox after you eat in this cafeteria we have called the Commons. And when we're done eating, you just go back, you just trade the guy for a token, and then you just go about your day, and then you go back maybe 2 more times unless you're eating somewhere else on campus. And this Woo leader we had, Jake, he you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we get down to this first meeting, and it's outside, so we can like breathe.
I would call it a brisk morning, brisk September. It wasn't
like
cold,
65
but
maybe.
There was a slight breeze. It made it slightly uncomfortable. Anyways, continue.
We're standing out there, and Jake's like, "Yeah, I don't know, guys. This is my first time doing this. I've never." And we're like, "Oh, it'll probably be fine. Just kind of show us what's up." And we're standing around in this circle, and he makes this decision. He's like, "All right. So I think what we're going to do is eat after we're done. So if you guys want to run up to your rooms and grab your lunch boxes or your tokens if you need them, and then just come back down with them so we can just carry that around and then be ready for food whenever we go and get it." So
in hindsight, I mean, it's a okay idea.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Daniel and I both had our coins because we just carried them in our wallets.
we've
And
never ate at our own rooms. I mean, I don't know why you would, because you can just eat in the cafeteria and then get rid of your container, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Otherwise, you have this nasty container just kind of chilling in your room. You know?
It's gotta sit until your next meal, and it's.
Anyway, like 5 or 6 dudes from this 10-15 group of people run back up to their room, takes them a couple minutes, and then they get back down. And Jacob had made this executive decision to not actually want them to carry around their trays. So he's like, "I'm really sorry, guys. Can you just run back up to your room and just drop those off for me?" And they're just a little bit like, "Oh, okay, well that's kind of stupid, but whatever." So they run back up there and they drop their stuff off, come back down, and I think he made them run up there again, didn't he?
He made him run. He made him grab it again before. Oh no! Here's the. Oh, it gets good. So they run back upstairs, drop it off, come back down, and we're on the 3rd floor. Everybody from our group is on the 3rd floor. So I mean, it's not really that bad, but it's just up and down.
Mildly arduous. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, he goes through the tour and he shows us whatever he needs to show us, and so then he brings us back to like our front door. I guess the door we go through, and he's like, "All right, you guys can get your food trays because we're gonna go eat." And so then they go up, get their food trays, come back down, and so we have like 2 main places to eat, and it's like the Commons or the MSC, the Fireside Cafe, and the Commons has the food tray system, and the Fireside Cafe just has, you just pay for it and then you leave. Like you don't have a tray. You have like a paper to go box instead of this plastic reusable one. So anyways, all these people drug their to-go boxes to the MSC to their chagrin when they found out that they did not need to bring them. And so then they got their food and just chilled with their to-go boxes, and it was just it was funny.
Yeah, people were not very pleased with our Woo leader after that.
Yeah.
That was a little bit rough.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's only a sophomore?
Yeah, I think he was a sophomore.
To me, that seems kind of weird. Like, why would you put people that are the newest there?
He's a little bit more relatable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, but I'd rather have somebody who knew what they were talking about than somebody who was just my age.
Yeah, that's true. He looked like he was younger than us, too.
Yeah, he did. It didn't help that he was shorter, too.
Yeah, I don't know. It isn't too big of a difference, I wouldn't think. Besides the way that they
uncoordinated
hold themselves. Yeah.
The whole thing was uncoordinated.
The way that they act was probably the biggest difference there, I would guess.
Yeah. They were unsure if things were where things were, I guess. Like when we had to go to our classes, it just seemed like they were looking for the first time just like we were, where our classes were.
Yeah, and all of the upperclassmen that we've really met have just been RAs. So I don't necessarily know how much of a difference that would have really been, I guess. But like I said, we haven't really talked to any. You don't see any TAs in your classes, obviously. At least I don't.
No. Because
all of them are online. And the online is just it's annoying. I'm sure you've heard this, but like my chemistry teacher, and this is my first class of the day. Every couple days I have this class.
Shout out to Miss or Mrs. or Dr.
Marcia, I think. And she's a little bit older in age, which is fine. She's very nice, very sweet. She's super helpful when we have labs and stuff, which are in person, fortunately. But she just has a hell of a time with Microsoft Teams is the platform that we use at Stout, and I'm sure you could attest to this. Probably every 15 minutes, I just kind of sigh and shake my head, because we'll have a problem with the audio, or she'll like share the wrong screen or something like that, and it's just a pain in the ass. And other online classes, like fully online stuff, I have math fully online,
Yikes.
and that's just a pain in the butt. Like
Yeah.
I have a hell of a time with that too. I don't know. You have more in-person stuff than me, being
I mean,
a
I have.
fine arts major.
Yeah. I have 3 in-person classes. Well, I guess 1 fully in person, and then 2 that meet once a week. But I mean, they definitely are more coordinated. It just seems like they're ready for the class. I just think I don't have any really older professors, teachers. So I mean, they seem on top of it so far. I mean, it hasn't been too bad, I guess. Not like yours.
I would say that, like, the way I've thought of it is like, wow, his classes, seem like they're, like getting stuff done and like really know what's going on. And I think that's because of like what kind of stuff they're teaching and what they're knowledgeable about. I mean, it would make sense to me at least that the fine arts, people or the professors and such would be more attuned to using online tools like that, whereas some chemistry teacher wouldn't really understand it as well, I would guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, kinda. I'm a little bit lost on how they'd be better at using...
I mean, just like whether they're teaching graphic design or...
Like something that's easier to teach versus something like chemistry that's harder to teach?
No, not necessarily that. They're just more... they're better at making things look good. I don't know. But I've found that my teachers do not necessarily make things look as good as yours from the very small amount of stuff that I've seen.
Right. Sprite number 1 for the day.
Not beer, just to be clear.
Yeah, this is Sprite. It's in a mini can too, so it's really not great.
No, we're yet to see anything very party-like here. I mean,
we haven't even really heard anything.
I've been invited to one party.
Right. Well, I wouldn't even call it a party because we saw them outside, just like doing cartwheels and whatnot. So like,
Michaela, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. And
that's a whole other story. I think maybe we should get into that.
I don't really.
I'll tell.
I don't see why.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so we're just chilling. This is like our first week. Mm-hmm. Our first week. First Friday. Yeah, and it might be second. I don't know. I feel like the first week that was too soon. But, anyways, I'm standing. I'm probably playing my ukulele, whatever. And I notice right next to our door that there's this note that wasn't there before. And so I'm like, oh man, Ethan, you got a note. Because at the time, Ethan didn't have a girlfriend, but I do have a girlfriend. So instantly it's like, it's for Ethan, right? So we look at this note, and it's from this girl. And she's like, hey, I just wanted to meet some friends. Here's my Instagram and my Snapchat. It sounded like that pretty much. That's at least how I read it. That's I guess not how Ethan read it. But anyways, so Ethan and I were like, all right, what the heck is this? What are we getting ourselves into here? And so then we came up with the idea, we gotta send a note back, right? I mean, she sent us a note, and it said her room number on there.
I don't know. It was a cute idea.
It was a good idea for sure.
I'm sitting there trying to figure out what to say, and I think it was like I kind of like copied her note for like the first part. And I just got bold, and I was like, "Hey, I think you're cute."
Oh yeah, it was a pro play. I mean, we sent like the same size note. Walked over. We were like, "All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, write down this note, and we're gonna take it. We're gonna tape it to the note she gave us, so that she knows that it was like, I don't know, related to us. I guess. I mean, we took a picture of the note so that we wouldn't forget the information on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on the note was on the back of like a picture of her. Overall, like pro play, I think that was a great idea. Anyways,
oh my
excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Jeez. Anyways, so we walk downstairs or upstairs or wherever it was.
It was down a floor. I still remember
Down a
room
floor.
number. I think it was like 260 or something.
Whatever, it's hard times. But so we go over and we're like, all right, so here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get really close to the door. We're gonna be quiet, all right, and then we're gonna shove the note under the door. If they hear something and like they acknowledge that something happened, then we're just gonna book it. But if we don't hear them say anything, we're gonna knock like twice on the door and then we're out of there.
Yeah. So at this point, I had added her on Snapchat.
Adrenaline is high.
I think. I added her on Snapchat. We talked very lightly, but she was, I don't know, I thought she was really pretty, you know. Yeah. And we had set up like a coffee date or something like that. It was a coffee date, and then that ended up falling through.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
It was not a great, but man, the note, that was so exciting. That's the main part about this. It's not the sad part that happens after. That sucks. Whatever.
Yeah, that was fun.
But man, the adrenaline, like, oh, she sent us a note. Oh,
I felt like a fifth grader or something.
Oh, dude, it was. I mean, it
really
even had me going. Like, it was like so like interesting. Like, this is our first. I don't know, whatever. But man, it was just fun, and unfortunately, it didn't work. But it didn't have to.
I would disagree that wasn't unfortunate. You know, I've been talking to
unfortunate situation. Well, I guess. I mean, she was more of a partier, and I guess.
Yeah, that I had noticed. Partiers. She was a bit more of a partier, which is fine. You know, I just wasn't super interested in that life per se.
I mean, here's what happened. She said we're going to a party or whatever, and I noticed the Snapchats that she was sending Ethan had a certain tree in her background and a certain lighting, whatever. So I looked out my window, and sure enough, I see her little posse, and they were doing cartwheels, and I was like, oh man, that must be a good party if they all want to do some cartwheels. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that was interesting.
That was a really weird little experience or like interaction, I guess.
Yeah, from the window, no less.
Right. I wouldn't call that unfortunate, though. I don't think.
I guess it just set up the opportunities for.
Yeah. No. Now I'm talking to a girl who is like super sweet and nice. And she lets me be the little spoon, and I'm 6'5", so that doesn't happen frequently. That's a
what? Like you've been the little spoon before?
No, not before this.
But you have recently?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nice. Mm-hmm. You feel secure, you know? And
I can attest to that. I've been the little spoon before. Actually, recently this weekend, or this last weekend. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine for a couple of minutes, but then you're like, you're kind of tired of being the little spoon. You know what I'm saying?
I would disagree.
You disagree? Well, you know, that's fine.
You know, I don't know. You just feel nice. The only problem with what we had going on was she was kneeing my butt because, you know, I'm a little bit taller, obviously. I'm about a foot taller to be exact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It has its give and takes. Gives and takes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just personally like being the big spoon better. So that's just me, but you know, I wouldn't mind being the little spoon for a little bit here or there.
So what about like hugs? What kind of hugs do you like? Like, so like let's say you walk up to your girlfriend and you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Do you do like a do you like bend? Do you bend down? Do you side hug? Do you like do you hug her like this and like waddle back and forth?
Well, the waddle would not work.
Why is that?
I'm sorry, I'm drinking pop. Well, the height difference. I'd have to pick her up. Well, anyways, what happens is usually if it's been a while, she'll go up like around my neckish area, and I'll go around her waist, and then depending on how long it's been, then it sometimes is a pick up, and kind of like a little I don't know, a little like
a shake kind of thing.
I mean, like I don't know, not a shake, but like just like an intense hug, I guess.
A little bit of like spinning back and forth. I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah, something like that. But I know she really likes going around like my waist area because then she's like really close right next to me, and so then I go like around her whole like.
I have trouble with like what to do a lot of times, because I would say probably like maybe like mid chest, like maybe an inch above the nipple line is where heads tend to fall for me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
Yeah, that's
do I bend down? Do I just hug their head? You know, do I
See,
like,
I'm like 6'1", and Ethan's what 6'5", so it's quite the difference when you're talking about hugs.
right?
So I just I don't know.
And
how that
obviously,
would be.
the height of the woman also matters. You know,
Right? Yeah.
so you know, I don't know.
It's definitely
How do you feel about like behind? How do you feel about like back,
like who's
behind
who's
hugs?
behind? Like, am I behind?
I don't. Which do you prefer?
I would say both actually. Like, it's nice just getting.
They're
the
both
hug.
winners.
They're both winners, right? I mean, it's nice getting
Like the
hug
head on
from
the
behind.
shoulder is like,
Yeah.
oh hi, how's
hey,
it going?
yeah.
What's up?
Hey,
What's
hey.
cracking?
Hey, there you are.
Look, there you are.
I don't know. Physical contact's just kind of nice, you know.
I agree with that very much. You know, like, how do you feel about like PDA?
See, that's where I kind of draw the line. Like, there's definitely a place to do something, but like,
I'm talking about PDA. I don't
like
mean
what kind of PDA?
I would say like the line for me is like an arm around like a shoulder. You know,
Yeah.
while like you're sitting down or like walking a short distance, because otherwise it's kind of just like, if you really think about it, it's just kind of awkward. You know, to like
Well, you
have
can hold hands.
That's what I would say that's a winner.
Yeah. I would say holding hands. I'd even say a hug.
Yeah, hugs.
And
for
then
sure,
it depends
fine.
on what's the situation, but maybe a kiss. But then again, it's like it depends on the situation, and how many people are around. But I'd say the handhold and the hug. But that's pretty much as far as it goes.
I do get pretty uncomfortable in public with PDA.
Well, you being so tall, how does I know your arms are longer too, but how does hand holding, does it work?
You know, I honestly haven't noticed.
You haven't noticed it not working?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
I'd say that's pretty accurate. Yeah, no, you just.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, you're taller, but your arms are longer, so they kind of fall at the same place, you know?
Right, that's what I've always. I don't know, I guess I've never noticed.
Yeah, because my girlfriend, when we hold hands, mine, like, I just have to reach mine all the way down, but I think she has to, like, meet me halfway or something like that. I'm not sure.
Huh.
Like,
That's
she's not all the way down, but she's like, I don't know. It's something. I
Arm
think
length
maybe.
and height is definitely a factor in that. But I haven't noticed at all. I've actually never thought about that before. But like maybe like
Burning
the
questions
rhythm.
here.
I've noticed that I
Nameless.
walk faster.
Oh yeah,
That's a bit of a problem sometimes. I feel bad about that.
I come from a background. My parents would take us on vacations. Every summer we'd do a different road trip into in like the United States, and so to get to every cool place, we'd be just walking fast because we'd park our van here, and then we'd go walk, at a fast pace to the first place, and then but before 11 o'clock in the morning, we gotta be at this other place, and we'd walk there fast. So, I mean, I just kind of been growing up walking faster than the average bear, and so I definitely can see that when I'm walking with my girlfriend, because it's like, and just being like generally taller, it's just longer strides. Definitely have to slow down when walking.
I guess I haven't noticed that either when we're walking necessarily. I had always thought, like, logically it makes sense. Oh, my legs are bigger, they're heavier, I take longer steps. Thus, I'll just, like, take steps less frequently to go the same speed as someone.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's the same thing with, like, the hand-holding thing, you know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Apparently, there's different walking speeds, you know?
Yeah.
I had kind of the same thing where like you keep up or like you lose it, you know?
Yeah.
Like not with walking, but with like jackets in stores and stuff actually.
Like you're talking sizes or
no? So like when you're, a kid, you're like worried about how comfortable you are and like if you want to do something all the time, you know. So like I'm sitting in the car, I got my winter jacket on from school, and my dad's like, "Hey, we're gonna run to Menards real quick," but just chill, keep the jacket on, you'll be fine. And so, you sit there and you're like, okay, well, I'm kind of hot and it's uncomfortable, but like, it's really not like worth taking your jacket off, because then you put it on before you get out of the car and
Yeah.
then you walk into Menards and you're like, well, now I'm wearing my jacket inside again and I'm hot. Unzip it or something like
Yeah,
that. But like
that's
taking
when
it
the
off is more of a hassle
chore.
than just being mildly uncomfortable for a
Well,
little
that's
bit.
when the zipper comes to a big play here. I mean, you see him, early game, the zipper is kind of it's up, it's keeping it warm, but late game, you unzip,
Yeah.
and that's a game changer.
Right, or like even like I had this little phase where like anytime I was inside, I would just like take my arms out of the sleeves of the jacket and just like wear it on my shoulders like a giant like fur cloak.
Like that one person from Clifford that was better than everybody else.
I don't remember who that is, but probably yeah, something
You guys
like
know
that.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was like a really big lesson for us, I guess. Walking fast, I don't necessarily know about, but like just like being mildly uncomfortable for a little bit is a lot easier than always like changing
Pace.
changing pace or like what your situation is with like for us it was like the jacket. Is it on, is it off, am I carrying it, where is it, stuff like that. But nothing else crazy like walking fast or stuff like that. I'm sure there's other stuff that was ingrained to us as
These
like
are
little kids.
riveting conversation points that we've come across here.
I agree. I would agree. I mean, well, we're sitting at almost 50 minutes here, so maybe it's time to call the pilot episode a quit. And
let's clock out. We'll see how the fans take it and
the audio actually recorded and stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, if you actually made it this far, which I would be surprised if anyone did.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'd want to sit and listen to this.
Thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe. Even though this probably isn't on YouTube or something like that.
No, but it should be. No, it should
just
be.
That audio.
just audio. Maybe we can have this picture here of the stop button and the timer, and that's it.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll think about that, but not on the podcast anymore. We'll see you later.
Yeah,
Bye.
This has been Ethan and Daniel signing out.
Yes. All right, hi. This is our podcast.
Take two. First one didn't work too well.
Take two. We're trying to get the audio figured out still.